Welcome to my last devotion. I'm going off of Ecclesiastes 3:1, which is, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. So, verse 6, I think, that whole section is about like the contradicting things, how there's a time for everything, but there's one where it's a time to keep and a time to throw away. And I looked up the Message version, which I don't usually do, but I really like this version of it, where it's a right time to hold on and another to let go, which is very applicable to my life because a lot of things are kind of just coming to a very abrupt end. Life Learning Community, which is sad, K-12, which is really not sad at all, dance, living at home, a bunch of other stuff. And I've learned so many lessons over the last 4 years, but mostly from the two most defining seasons of my life. So I'm going to kind of go through, give you guys some, it's going to be like a lot more of advice than actually a devotion, but I'll make it biblical. So the first thing I learned from dance is trust. I've been in some solos where you go on stage and kind of dance by yourself, but I've been in a couple duets now where it's two of you. And I've been in two where we use a prop, but so me and Allison and me and one of my really good friends, Angela, were both in duets where we used a prop. And we had a dance with a prop, but it was more of trusting the prop and the other person with the prop than trusting each other. This year I'm in a duet with my really good friend Gigi, featured in these pictures, where it's a lot more actual physical contact, and it's a lot more, we have to trust each other, and it's to the song Unsteady, and she's the unsteady one. So she falls on me a lot in this dance, and she has to trust that I'm going to be there to catch her, and if she starts to fall, make it work. We've done that before, where during this little move here, I fell backwards, and we had to like spin and get back up, but so she has to trust that I'm going to be there to catch her fall, and there is a move where I kind of am crouched on the ground, and she puts her hands on my back and flips over me. I have to trust that she's going to do everything in her power to get over me. And there have been some times where she didn't, and she fell on top of me, and it hurt. But I knew that it was an accident on her part. She wasn't maliciously trying to hurt me. It's a hard move. So the whole thing is that trust is so incredibly important. And we have to know that the people in our lives that we really depend on are going to be there to catch our fall, and that we are going to be there to do the same thing for them. And even when they mess up and they hurt us, there has to be the trust and the knowledge that they can be forgiven, and you can work on and work together and move on and grow stronger. Like at one competition, she put her hands on my back and kind of got in a handstand, and then directly went under herself and landed on my hand. And I honestly thought I broke my finger. But it was like, she felt so bad, and we're like, it's okay, like, it's fine. And then we were able to work on that, and now she doesn't do that anymore. She hasn't fallen on me since. But another thing I learned is that it's all in a strong base. At my dance studio, we do a lot of what's called acrobatic arts, and it's kind of like gymnastics for dance. And we like to make a lot of shapes out of people. And if you don't have a strong foundation, you really don't have anything. As soon as your base shifts, everything can come falling down. So as you can see here, this is me, and she is on top of me, and she is on top of her, and basically it all comes down to me. If I shift, or if I move, or if I move my hands, or I get tired, everyone's going to fall down, and everyone's going to get hurt. There's a lot of trust and respect, going back to the trust thing, that happens because I have to be aware of myself, but I have to be aware of everyone else. If I start to get tired as a base, there's a difference between pushing yourself too hard and being like, everyone's going to fall down if you do not get off of me right now. Like here, we make a human pyramid. There was an earlier version where I was alone at the base, and we were all kind of stacked on top of each other for way too long. And I was like, I need you all to get off right now. I kind of yelled and was mean, but it was for their own good, because you have to know your limits. And you have to know what is the foundation in your life. You have to know the people that are foundational, the beliefs that are foundational, and you have to know that they're strong and that they're not going to shift. Because if you put so much on one thing and then it shifts, your whole life can come crumbling down. I guess that's a little bit extreme, but it's not really, depending on how much you have on that thing. So you have to know that your bases are strong. Another lesson I learned from dance is teamwork. I've been on a dance team for as long as I can remember. It changes every year, but this year has been especially special because there are only 8 of us, and we're all very strong, and we're all very dedicated to what we're doing. So when there's a common goal and each teammate is willing to sacrifice and work hard for that goal, incredible things can happen. And people see that and they want to be a part of it. This here is my team. There are 8 of us, and this is right after one of our dances got 2nd overall in the entire competition, which was really exciting. And then this is me and Gigi, again, another duet. We scored 10th in the entire competition. And then this is we have teams at my studio, and there's one thing, a big dance where we all come together and we do it, and that number scored first in the entire competition. So it's just people on the outside can see what we do and the strength we have, and they want in on it. And it's a lot like the Christian faith, where if you're with a group of people and you're working hard and you're working together to move mountains really with your faith, people on the outside see that and they want to be a part of it. Another thing I learned from dance is resiliency. So I really like this quote from one of the Batman movies. I haven't seen it in forever. I don't even remember who says it. But it's, why do we fall? They're talking to Bruce. So we can learn to pick ourselves back up. And nothing has taught me this more than dance. There are going to be times where you mess up. There was a competition where I totally screwed up the choreography. And you feel so horrible because it's, again, going back to teamwork and trust, where the rest of my team was trusting me that I wouldn't mess it up, and I did. I mean, we still scored really well, but that's not the point. There'll be times we fall. There'll be times where I feel like we deserve, better, and that's what this actually is. This past weekend, I did a solo, and I thought I should have scored better, and I didn't, which was disappointing. But as soon as awards were over, my team kind of came around me and were like, "You should have done better, but it's okay. Like, it doesn't matter." And if we let the bad times stop us, we're never going to make it to the reward and all the good times and all of the exciting celebratory stuff. So dancing has taught me how to win, but more importantly, how to lose and how to get past obstacles that we're in and not let it be a negative defining moment, but a positive defining moment where you take this obstacle and you kind of switch it around and use it for your own good and learn from it and become better. So now on to things that I've learned from LLC. First of all, being 40%. I don't remember if this was like a devotion or a chapel or what this was, but I remember talking about how when you feel like you've reached your absolute limit and you can't go anymore, you really only hit about 40% of what you're capable of. And really what's taught me this is running, because I hate running so much. Like, it is my least favorite activity. And I didn't do it at all before school. I remember one time there was like a 5K at middle school, and I was like, nope, I'm not doing it. And like 3 people did it, and I was really jealous. But running has taught me how to push myself in ways I didn't think possible. Like, even with running around Costco, there'll be times where I tell Sierra, I don't even know, she's not here, dang it. But I'm like, we're doing 3 laps, I can't. I'm gonna stop after 2. I'm so tired, I'm in so much pain, I can't. But after like the first 2 laps and I get to the orange cones, I'm like, might as well finish now. And I told someone once that it's kind of made me unable to stop myself in a good way, where it's like I know what I'm capable of and I know that I can finish it, so it's just getting yourself to actually do it. And you can do, within reason, anything you want to if only you have the right mindset for it, and you have to just get up and do it. And I hate the term I can't, because it's very rarely you actually can't, it's often you won't, and you don't want to, because it's a lot of work, and I get that, because it sucks. But the fact that I, not a runner, ran a half marathon, and the other people in high school, definitely not runners, ran half marathons, pretty much proves that anything is possible. Another thing I learned from LLC is taking responsibility. It has given responsibility a whole new light for me. I was responsible for making myself do homework. Obviously, the people, my parents, are going to be like, you have to do your homework. And I'm like, It eventually all comes down to me. I was responsible. Another thing is memorizing Bible plays. We did a bunch of them, and when you memorized it, it just made it so much better. There was one where we did, what's the one with the fire?
Acts 2.
Yeah, Acts 2, and I was Peter, which was weird. This is the Flames of Fire. And there was like a whole speech that Peter had to do, and I like looked at it and was like, there's no way I can memorize this. And Mr. Levy was like, you don't have to memorize it, but I did, and it ended up being way, way better because that I did. And again, it's dependent on me. And going back to my previous point, what you get out of something is directly proportional to what you're willing to put in. Same thing in life. All throughout life, you're going to come across this. One of the things that there's beauty in everything. In every situation where you feel like it's crappy and there's nothing good about it, there's always going to be something good in it. When I find myself in really awful situations, I tend to just kind of be like, well, everything sucks. Nothing's good. Like this weekend when my solo scored really well. You can ask my mom, but please don't. Where we were on the car ride home for like the first 10 minutes. I was just really angry at everything in the world because I was really upset about this score. But then there was kind of like a shift in my mind where I was like, wait, I still scored really well. I have a lot of people in my life that love me and care about me and want me to know that I did well. And this is just one thing, one score on one day, and it shouldn't define how I feel right now. So when we look, there's beauty in everything. There's good in every bad situation, and there's something unique in everything that we find to be routine, as long as we are willing to look for it. Now, this isn't from dance or school. It's kind of just like my life in this last season that I've been in, where love is like the most important thing. It's outrageous and it's contagious, and it can change people's lives, and I've seen it over and over again, where love is just the biggest and most important thing. And so please never underestimate the power of love, and never think that you're too good to show someone some love, because I've heard this thing over and over again where it's you could be the only Bible someone reads or someone opened, or something like that, where you can completely be a changing moment in someone else's life, even if you just smile at someone on the street. I remember my dad told me when I was a kid that whenever you make eye contact with someone, you should smile at them. And I used to feel so guilty whenever I would make eye contact with someone and didn't smile at them, because I was like, no! But, so now I'm going to bring this back to Ecclesiastes 3, because I haven't really at all. This season in my life is ending, and so now what I'm learning is how to let go, which I hate. I don't like letting go of things. Beginning a whole new phase, a whole new season. I'm going to go off to college and do my thing, which is scary and sad and nostalgic, and I am someone that gets emotional, which is crazy. But I really like this show called How I Met Your Mother, and there's a part called Graduation Goggles, where it's when you're coming to the end of something, you kind of look back, and everything you see, whether it was good or bad or whatever, you see it in this really good light. And they're using it in a negative way, where it's like someone needs to get out of a relationship, and they won't, because they only see the good things. But the way I have it right now is good, because I'm looking back and I'm seeing all the things that were good and bad and I hated and didn't like, but they changed me and made me who I am today. And if I hadn't gone through those things, I wouldn't be who I am now. So I'm going to use another quote from The Office, where it's, I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you actually left them. And I think I'm lucky, because I've known for a long time that these are the good old days, and these are the things I'm going to look back at and smile. All the people I've met and the friendships I've made, they've made me who I am, and they've changed me into who I am now, and I don't want to leave them. But I'm going to, because it's a season, and things in life happen, and you're going to learn, you're going to grow from them. But if I stay, and if I am not willing to move on and go on to the next season in my life, I'm not going to learn from whatever's coming next. And I love being comfortable, but this is going to be an uncomfortable time, and a hard and scary and changing time. But if you take anything out of this devotion, know that whatever season or phase in your life that you're there for a reason, and you're going to learn stuff if you're willing to learn it. And when you get to the end, you can look back and see how much it's changed you. And just make sure that you're present in every day. Don't obviously plan for the future, but don't miss out on the now. So, yeah, I'm going to pray, and we can go off to quiet time. So, yeah. Dear Lord, thank you for this day, and just thank you that I've been able to experience so much and learn so much in this season of my life. And I pray that some of the lessons I've been able to learn, I've been able to share today, and that someone can learn something from this. Just help us finish this year off strong, and to always remember to look for the good and look for the lessons that we can be learning from things. And amen.